Hello and welcome to Burning Questions, July 6th. I'm starting to get the hang of this. Jabon's out for a month or so. I'm in, and once again, I've done it. I got a good panel last week, and this one's been much more organised, much more simple to put together, but I'm going to say it's even better than last week. We'll start with the man to my left here on the screen, Andy Gath. He's had one of the holidays of his life. I think he said one day would have been enough, but he had about 8. APG, great to have you back on Burning Questions.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back, and jealous of the other two on the screen that are up in Queensland still enjoying the weather that I had a week ago.
Well, that's right. We'll throw to Bronte Nieuwenburg from Sulky.app. Great to have you back on, Bronte. And we'll get to our next guest shortly, but you've just realised you're within, striking distance of David Miles at the moment.
Yeah, but really close. I actually saw the clouds behind him and I was like, they look a bit familiar. It's because it's the same clouds above me.
Great to have you on again, Burning Questions. And David Miles, fantastic to have you on, mate. You are chasing the sun and it has delivered for you. Tell us about where you are and how long are you spending up north?
I'm just at Tambourine, at the base of the Tambourine Mountains, which is over that shoulder. Loving this weather. I woke up this morning and walking around in short sleeves. It's fantastic. At this stage, it's 3 weeks, but could be longer by the way this is, I tell you.
Yeah, well, I won't open my curtain, but Ballarat's pretty gloomy, as you would expect. Let's get stuck right into it. We've got 5 questions, so let's get right into it. And the first of our sponsors, they've been a good, loyal sponsor for a long period of time on Burning Questions, Felvo Fruits. Felvo Fruits grow top-quality table grapes on the farms in Wemmen and Liparu. I think I pronounced that right. And working very closely together with Premier Farms Australia. These table grapes are delivered to all customers over the world. Remember, everybody, eating grapes is good for you. Jabon's probably asked you this, Bronte, but what's your favourite fruit while we're at it?
I know. I have banana every morning, banana in a smoothie. So it has to go to that.
Has to go to that. Milesy, yours?
I've answered this before. It's definitely grapes, but of the craft variety.
Yeah, I've answered the same way. Andy, you'd be an apple man. Pretty straightforward.
No, I'm a banana man, same as Monty.
Pretty straightforward. Right, let's get into these burning questions. Will the Lost Storm blow them away? First up from a long break. Might go to you, Andy. This horse hasn't raced since the Vicbred Super Series final when he won by 36-point-something metres. He's a Tab Eureka runner, so you'll be taking him on in September. Is this, the Tab's got him $1.15. Does he just go out and win at Bendigo on Saturday night?
You think he will? He's a quality horse. When he won Vicbred, he was unbelievable that night. I think he went 152 over the middle distance, which a lot of free-for-all horses can't even do. So, even though he's drawn wide and he's first up and got some pretty good competition, you expect that he just good for him. He's one of the better 3-year-olds going around in Australia, and it's good to have him back.
Yeah, Milesy, is there any opposition from Louis Luai, Blake Bolak, Chivalry, any of those? Can they get close to him?
Not if he's right, Toc. He'll just beat them if he's right. If you want to play devil's advocate, you would think if he was 100% went up and really at his best, he would probably have been up here this week taking on Leap to Fame. So that's probably the only question. Is the horse right? But even if he's only 80% right, he probably beats them. But I think he's the only one that can get himself beat.
Bronte, Sulky.app, I've only just got deep into it the last few days or the last week or so, and it's fantastic. Particularly, I love the gate speed aspect of it. But what is Sulky app telling you about the Lost Storm's chances on Saturday night at Bendigo?
Yeah, so his best rating is 3 seconds better than the next best horse. So at his best, he shouldn't be getting beat. I cannot see him getting beat. The next best rated horse is Louis Luai. But that still, the Louis Luai doesn't have much better of a draw. So if he's at his best, he should just be winning.
3 seconds, that's a significant difference to the next best horse, isn't it? You wouldn't see that sort of discrepancy very often.
That's really unusual. The rest of the horses sit around we're talking about our national sulky rating, which is an evenalized rating that looks like a mile rate, but it incorporates all the time differences across the tracks in Australia, and also the distances all evened out to replicate a time trial. And his rating is 148. Louis Luai's is 151.
Yeah.
So every
That's
other horse in this
significant.
race is sitting around 152.6.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it does. Whatever way you look at it, looks like the Lost Storm will be winning on Saturday night. I don't know what you thought about his trial, guys. I thought his trial was okay. I mean, he wasn't asked to do too much, but it didn't blow me away. And Justin Baker, the owner breeder, Milesy, reliably tells me we're not running from the fight. Was his quote the other day? I think there was a few issues with travel, and they just decided to go this way. But can't wait to see him back. Fantastic horse. And Sulky.app is the sponsor of our second question. Combining the power of results and horse sectionals, with Sulky app, you now have access to gate speed, swooper, ability, and behaviour ratings. Never miss a trainer, driver, or gear change again. Sulky app is a form guide revolution. Sign up at sulky.app. I've done that, and I can concur with all those things. A fantastic tool. We might start with you here, Bronte. The second question: how good is Danamora, and will she add another picket to the fence on Saturday night?
Okay, so before we're talking about how there's a big discrepancy that the Lost Storm had on the rest of his rivals in this race. It's 1 second difference between Relentless Me and then all the other horses up to Mona Mia. So, you know, the only horse I can't see winning is it's Miss Montana, but, you know, she's also got the benefit of the draw. Danamora has been really impressive. I can't on ratings put her above any other horse.
Interesting. I thought she may have come up head and shoulders above. Andy, I might go to you. Your wife Kate's driving the horse. She's driven Danamora, I think, all of the starts in Australia bar one, perhaps, when you're away on holidays. I've got a few friends in the ownership of this horse, and I actually said no to going in the share of this horse, which was a tremendous decision, wasn't it? I think she's very good. What's your opinion, Andy?
Yeah, no, she's a really good pair, and any horse that can win 6 in a row, especially in Victoria, you know you've got to be well above average. Not going to be easy at Bendigo. I think made good last start. Quality mare, Relentlessly, and Danny Moore is going to have to try and beat her. So she's got the score on the board, but I wouldn't, odds on for Danny Moore. Again, every time you win, you're closer to your first loss, I suppose. But this is her biggest test to date, I reckon.
Yeah, reliably informed, she'll open up about $1.45. So that's unders for you, Andy?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Milesy, I really like her. I think she'll be really competitive, and I'm not saying she'll win a Vic Bred final at the mare, but I wouldn't be surprised if she went very close to winning one. I like her, and I think she'll win on Saturday night. Are you with me or are you against me?
No, I'd probably concur with Andy, to be honest. I think it's her biggest test, and this is probably the week we're going to find out at what level she's going to finish up at, because, you know, there's a Relentless Me is very good. Mona Mia's been in every fight, and she's a good measuring stick, Mona Mia, and she's actually not having to start from 13, which is a big difference for her. I think it's $1.45 is way too short, but if she could go out and she does blow these horses away, your future predictions could be right, that she could be very competitive in a size final.
Yeah, really interesting race. Third of our sponsors is Pride's Easy Feed. Pride's Easy Feed stands as a proud supporter of the harness racing industry with their set recipes and quality ingredients that give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result you've been chasing. Andy, we'll start with you here. Terry was just fair on Australian debut, but could he towel them up this time around? Very cleverly worded question, by the way.
Yeah, good to see Jay Bond sent a question while he's away. So, yeah.
Come on, please.
He again, as you said, he was just average. His first run in Australia, it was a bit of a walking pace, and sort of they dashed home pretty quick. He didn't pull up that great after the race. I just off a little bit. He's worked quite good. Well-performed horse in New Zealand. Probably his best form was in standing starts. He had New Zealand Cup and finished midfield in that. So shows you what type of horse he is. Not the type of horse can sort of make luck. He's a little bit of an opportunist. But I think with the right run, he'll be very competitive in this race on Saturday night.
So Craig Rails marked him $7. So that's sort of an each way bet. You don't mind that price? You think that's worth the punters having a look at?
Yeah, definitely. I think pretty good value. He can run times, and been really happy with the last couple of weeks.
Who does he work with at the stables? Has he got a sparring partner?
I'm trying to think. He went with Tango Tara this morning. Tango just sort of got him the last bit, but yeah, he's sort of up to that level.
Yeah, good push. Bronte, Sulky.app. I'd be interested in what the numbers say here. Terry, I thought he was just plain or just fair, I guess, on Australian debut, but it's a big field, and we see quite often at Bendigo these big fields they can throw up rough results. Is there one there that you can steer the punters towards?
The horse that's the standout best rated on Sulky is Irvine, who does come out of 9. It's not fair, I think, to put Terry down on his first run. He does have one of the worst ratings in the race, but every other horse has had time to build up their profile on Sulky, and Terry's just had that one run. So I wouldn't look at that and say that's what you're going to expect from the horse. Like Andy said, he hasn't improved in track work. So even though Irvine rates the best, I wouldn't knock Terry's chances until we see a few more starts from him.
Milesy, your thoughts on this race?
I think Terry in time was going to be a very good horse. Lucky enough to trial against him at Melton before he went to Kilmore, and he rushed up to a pretty classy horse in his Charlie's Angels very, very quickly, and then just didn't quite find the line. Whether he ran out of a bit of fitness or he had a little think, I'm not quite sure, but I think the horse has got loads of ability. I think in time, when Andy's had him couple of months, and it might be this week, you might have turned him around already, but I think in time he's going to be a very nice horse. He'll go right through the free-for-all grade. Just not quite sure whether this is his week, but it's a very even field, and I couldn't actually really find much to beat him. It's not an overly strong race, so I would have thought the $7 each way is a great bet. Don't know whether you get paid this week, but if you keep following him, you're going to get paid eventually.
Yeah, good push. Yeah. I mean, if he does come up $7, he probably won't, given the surnames that are against him, the Gath family. They tend to open up a bit shorter than that. But yeah, good push there for Terry. We move on to the fourth of our burning questions, and it's the last one focusing on Lord's Raceway, and has anyone got a whisper on who might win the last at Lord's? We might save you for last, Andy. Bronte, this is a really tricky race, the 8th race, and believe it or not, it's at 8:43 p.m. for those looking forward to an early night. That's fantastic. But 6 horses. It's a mobile start trot. Which way does Sulky app point us in this race?
Oh, it is one of the most even races of the night across Australia, probably. And I do like the one. The one does come out as our best rated horse, Egret. However, the gate speed ratings, I think it's going to be Fireworks Ellie, because there is no standout best gate speed horse in the race as well. But I do think that Chinese Whisper, we've seen how it can finish races, and if it gets a good run in the small field, I'd love to watch it at the end.
Yeah. Milesy, Chinese Whisper, Craig Rails marked this horse $8. Be surprised if it opened up that price. If he did everything right, he's got to have a good chance, doesn't he? But the favourite looks like being Egret or Lady Adelia potentially. And look, it's a real raffle. Can you help us out?
Well, when you mentioned a question about Lords, I was looking for a Bairstow reference or an Alex Carey reference. I was waiting out of the
4
creek,
from me.
But,
not good enough.
No. Actually, I've just gone down to the bottle shop and bought a slab of that England bitter that CUV. I thought that was pretty clever of them.
Not bad.
But listen, I think it's a race between 1 and 2 purely because of the draws, and they're going to be able to manufacture their own race. I think from 1 and 2, Egret's got gate speed. So's Lady Adelia. I don't think they're going to get into a war, but I think we do know how much of a fence-dominated track Bendigo is, and being the small field, unless somebody wants to go and attack, I think the 1 and the 2, purely because of barrier draws, is they're going to have hold the key. And Egret was good first up, but Lady Adelia and Chris Finoso team are absolutely flying. So, but just a slight edge to Egret.
Tell me Chinese Whisper can't win, Andy.
I can't win.
Yeah, tell me why I can't win. Maybe is a better question.
Oh no, again, he trialled pretty good first up, his first trial. Then the other day he swung into a pace which he's never done before since we've had him, and then Auto had to sort of pull him out of the racing and get him back trotting. So little bit disappointed with that. His work's been really good this time in. He's been trotting terrific. Poor field, sometimes no tempo. But he's been in a couple of races before where there's been no tempo and he's still been fast enough in the end. Terrific high speed. So those two mares are, out of bounds, good too. I think the mares are going to be the barrier draws, but I still think he's capable, even though they might go a little bit slow. So I think he can win. Pretty happy with him. So hopefully he trots the whole way.
Yeah, good push. Before we go to the last question, we were talking about cricket. I don't know if you've been across this, Bronte, but I'm going to ask the other guys. But the Johnny Bairstow dismissal in the cricket at Lords. Let's get a straw poll. Milesy, did the right result happen? Should Johnny Bairstow have been given out and sent packing?
Well, from a very old keeper in a previous life, personally, I was all over that sort of stuff. I might have.
You would have loved that.
I reckon, and he was 100% in the right. If Carey had held the ball for 1 or 2 seconds and waited for him to leave, I would have said, no, that's not on. But as soon as the ball hit the gloves, it was gone. And for me, 100% out and 100% right to do so.
Andy?
100% with Mr. Miles.
Yeah, I probably don't, but I've softened on my view in the days after, and I think back to my time in cricket, and I'm pretty sure I did stuff like that as well. So a bit of a hypocrite. Bronte, did you catch any of that? Have you got any opinion on the cricket furor that's taken over the sporting landscape the last couple of days?
I don't think I can offer any value to this conversation. So I'm just going to agree with the majority.
Okay, so that's against me. So Sulky app, don't delve into this type of discussion. No cricket stats for us.
Oh, Dad would absolutely love if it did, but no, not me.
All right. Well, it's 3 outs and 1 probably not out. So 3-1. Bronte's on the side of David Miles and Andy Gath. The final burning question is: Miles chasing the sun up north, but could he strike a blow in the big ones at the Creek? Of course, I talk about you've got 3 runners on Saturday night at Albion Park. Milesy, Orchid Stride, race 5. Rockin' with Attitude, your star little trotting filly in race 7 in the Great Square, the Group 1. And then you're driving He's Charlie's Angel, barrier 12 in race 8, the Rising Sun, another Group 1. Are you going to come away with a victory on Saturday night?
Well, I'm actually really interested to hear what Bronte's got to say about this app rating, because we talk about 3-year-olds taking on 4-year-olds and the question marks and all the theories that are thrown up about that. So I'll be very interested to see what Bronte's ratings come up with and how Rocking with Attitude rates against a Courage Stride and an RC Phoenix.
Have you go, Bronte? I'm interested as well.
Well, Courage Stride has the best rating in the race at 152.3, but it's had that same rating when it's been racing these top horses in Victoria. Rockin' with Attitude's rating is 155.7, so there's 3 seconds there, but between that and the rest of the field, it's quite even. I think the gate speed is going to be the key in this race, because we measure our gate speed by how many lengths a horse travels in the first 7 seconds of an event. And Kenaturio and Hot to Trot have the best gate speed in this race. However, Rockin' with Attitude is just half a length in the middle. So I think my hope is that I see the race that she gets in front of Kenaturio, hands up to her, and then you hold the front. That's how I'd like to see the race run. But I think that Hot to Trot's gate speed could actually improve, because Jack Trainer does seem quite confident with its gate speed. But I do see a lot of horses do have a chance in this race, and if Rockin' with Attitude finds the fence, her ratings are about on par with the rest of the field. RC Phoenix rating is 152.8 for reference, so it's about it, and Courage Stride is significantly better than the rest, and well, not significantly, 2 seconds, but then the rest of the field are on par, and you will have the advantage of the fence, hopefully.
And I read a story this week, Milesy. You're not giving that front away if you find it.
I think Brad Williamson, he'd be pretty disappointed if I hand it up. I don't know that. I think he'll come looking for him. You let him fly over the ditch. So I think I better hold the front, and if they're good enough to beat us, they are. We've come a long way. It's the richest race of the year for her, and She is good in front, and if they're good enough to sit outside us and beat us, that's great. I'd be interested to ask Bronte, her mile rates are stack up. Her overall mile rates stack up against those other horses, and yet her rating for you guys is very different. Is that class of race or is it age based? How does that come about?
Our ratings don't look at anything like class or age. It's purely just on sectionals. If her sectionals are worse than the other ones, it's purely because she's raced on the fence. So she's not covering extra distance. So we incorporate the extra distance the horse has travelled in an event, and also the size of the track. So if these horses, like, for example, I haven't had a look through, but RC Phoenix, if he's raced on a smaller track out wide, his mile rate is going to show on our national sulky rating. It's going to come down to look faster than a horse that's raced in the front at a track like Melton.
Okay. That's a really interesting way to come up with it. So because we looked at her overall mile rates versus RC Phoenix and Encourages and all the other horses, and they're super competitive. And if she can run a PB on Saturday night, I think she can win.
I think she can win. I'm not ruling her out. Her rating, for example, it's very close to Hot to Trot. Paris K, she's a chance, top of the moment, and I'm a Gypsy Queen, Gath, they're all within 1 second. So the only horses that are better than her, clearly are London to a Brick and then RC Phoenix and Courage Stride. I think if she finds the front, she could win. I'm not ruling her out.
Good push. Really good push. Race 8, Miles. Just a quick word on He's Charlie's Angel. He's against the champ Leap to Fame. I don't think you could beat him, but he's drawn bad, so you might be able to. What's your thoughts? Can you run? What would be a good result for He's Charlie's Angel?
I think Charlene's already looked up the book and says 13,500 for fifth, so we'll be happy with that. But he's got a tough ask. We're going to follow Cobbler, I suppose, in the run, who is absolutely flying, and probably no one's up to Leap to Fame class, but and Can't Find a Better Man was fantastic last week. I chased him home in Sydney earlier in the year, and I know Luke's got a very good opinion of him, but I think we're probably racing one of the best, if not the best horse in Australia, and I don't think we'll see which way he goes, Leap to Fame.
Bronte, how far is Leap to Fame's rating ahead of the rest of the field in the Rising Sun?
Leap to Fame has the best
handy?
rating in Australia. So Leap to Fame, in his Redcliffe start, he took over Honolulu Bay's previous record on Sulky Up. However, I do have a fun fact. The horse with the fastest straight out quarter in the race is He's Charlie's Angel.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a fun fact. He's still a few seconds off Leap to Fame. The rest of the field is, but he does have the fastest straight out quarter.
So, Miles, if you can just lob on his back somehow and you'll get him in the lane, I reckon. If that somehow pans out from gates 7 and 12, is that possible?
Yeah,
you're good, but I don't know if you're that good.
Well, I'll just cut across the infield early, and when he's going to the front, I'll pop underneath. So, he Grant's well versed at getting these good horses and keeping them good. So it'll be good to watch from back in the field. Hopefully, I can weave a passage and take some prize money home. That'd be nice.
And just a quick word, Orchid Stride. Any hope?
She's drawn a bit awkward because she's a free running mare, and I don't know if I've got the gate speed to get across them this week. So she's in really good order. We haven't had her that long. We've only had her about 3.5 weeks. But she's in really good order. She's travelled up super. Her Sydney form stacked up on her mile rate times. She's broken 51 a couple of times. So, I don't know whether the 2100 is ideal for her, but it was a lot better idea to bring her up here and race her against her own age group than race the free-for-alls in Melbourne during the winter. So we're hopeful, but I do think she's a bit better when she can find the pegs, and I'm not sure if we can do that this week.
Andy, I've left you out a bit here, but the question was aimed at Milesy, but one I want to ask you before we go to the best bets, just quickly. Leap to Fame is going to be a rival of yours in the Eureka. Of course, Captain Ravishing, the Lost Storm, amongst others. Do you see your horse as the best horse in Australia at the moment? Do you see Leap to Fame? Do you see Captain Ravishing? Give us your thoughts. I mean, you've got the runs on the board, but so does Leap to Fame.
To be honest, no one really knows, to be truthful. I'm fortunate I trained catch a wave, and I love watching him race. I love watching Leap to Fame race. I love watching Captain Ravishing race. We all love good horses, and sometimes it's just going to get down to pure luck, barrier draw. But what Fame done last start at Redcliffe, I'm not sure there's many horses that could have done what he done. And yeah, he's a great horse. He's a great horse from the start off. So yeah, it's going to be a great clash to Eureka. Again, hopefully they're all there fit and sound, and then we'll see on the day. But yeah, to say who's the best, it's just hard to say. I know everyone has their favourites, but I personally don't really know.
That gives us a chance to go for the best bets. I might start with you, Bronte. I don't know how you look at it. Do you go with the Sulky app ratings, or are you just coming up with one yourself? I'm happy for you to go to Bendigo, Albion Park, Marburg, Milesy. I think we were talking about that venue the other day. Wherever you want to go.
I'm just looking at value. I haven't looked at. I'm not the biggest bettor. I'll put a $1 bet occasionally on someone, but I kind of like Foolish Pleasure each way at Bendigo race 7. He's not the best rated, but he's coming out of 1 and he likes to find the fence early, so he'll find that straight away.
Well, if you can land that, Bronte. Craig Rails marked this at $11, so maybe an each way play for you. Race 7, number 1, Foolish Pleasure.
David Miles is shaking his head.
I spent an hour trying to find one, and I thought I found a nice $10 pop that was going to be easy, and Bronte's found it.
So you're with Foolish Pleasure, Milesy?
Oh well, we can't. But we've got to get this tab multi up. So
yeah, true. Give us what else.
I'll choose another one. Milesy can take Foolish Pleasure because I can easily find another one.
No, that's all right. Well, I'm going to stick with me little filly and wear me heart in my sleeve, and say that if they can sit outside, rocking with attitude and beat it, good luck to them.
Okay. Well, you can keep Foolish Pleasure, Bronte. Where was that? Race 7,
at Bendigo.
Number 1 at Bendigo. Milesy's with Rocking with Attitude. Race 7, number 2 at Albion Park. Andy Gath is with. Andy, tell us.
Yeah, I'll go with the last race at Bendigo, so people can wait to last. Then Chinese Whisper for me.
Yeah, I like to hear that. I don't know what they're going to do with this tab multi. It's going to blow up the tab if we get this one up. There's some value, but I'm going to ruin it because I'm hearing $1.45's on offer. But the way all you three have spoken, I reckon it's going to drift out. Danamora seems unders to you. I think she's close to the M word, the moral, and I'm going to say she'll go close to winning a Vic Bred 4-year-old final at the end of the year. So race 4, number 5 at Lord's Raceway. Danamora for me, just for a tiny little bit of cream on the cake. But yeah, it's been a great episode, guys. I really appreciate it. If we get this multi up, the tab's going to, I think, throw it in the bin because they'll be out of cash. Bronte, really appreciate your input, and we'll get you back in the coming weeks, particularly as we really dial into the big races in Queensland. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Milesy. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, guys. I'm just heading to the winery that's over the back here. They've got lunch and a nice glass of red ready for me.
It is a nice winery. He's heading off.
That's been Burning Questions. Thanks for joining us. A big night of racing at Bendigo and Albion Park on Saturday night. We'll see you next week. Cheers.